Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's episode 60. Can you believe that, Daryl? Episode 60 of the Canadian Bowler Podcast. Yeah,
Crazy.
let's get it going. Let's get it going. How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to the Canadian Bowler Podcast, the best podcast in lawn bowls. Let's go. Mike, how about you just do it, Mike?
Well, everyone, welcome back, Luke. It's been a little while. Nice to have Luke back on the show. Been a few shows since we've had Luke. Good to see his face again. As usual, Mike Patulli, Daryl Fitzgerald, Lucas Caldwell, here to, as Luke says, best bowls podcast in the entire universe, I think is what he said once.
It's a fact, science.
Before we get too deep into it, just a reminder here, if you are watching the video, to like, comment, subscribe. Any sort of interaction does help us, so smash those buttons if you are here. If you're not able to catch the show live, we're on YouTube within the day, so you'll be able to check it out after the fact. If you are a podcaster, we are on all major podcasting platforms, and that is usually posted within the week, so please check out whenever you're able to on any platform that works for you. So you might as well get into it. We got some stuff to cover, boys.
Just before we get into it, I just wanted to mention one thing. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, don't forget down below, there's always merchandise for sale. Daryl's got a sweater on if he wants to show it off. That's just one of our few designs. There's plenty out there, but if you guys are interested, it's down below.
Thank you, Luke. I didn't have my coffee cup. It's over on another table, and I don't want to bolt while we're on air, so the coffee cup is an awesome addition to my coffee drinking repertoire, so good promotion there. For getting right into it, we got the World Bowls Champion of Champion tournament just wrapped up the other day. Was some nice stream in there that they had different, I guess, a couple streams for the finals days going, and then they had the results up pretty good as well. So I'm going to totally butcher the name of the club, the Nene Bowling Club.
You got it.
I'm surprised that that's its name. It makes me just think of that Whip and Nay song.
So, like, do you whip and then, like, nay when you're there?
Maybe the bulls turn a lot, so then they whip and they nay.
Who knows?
Sure. So, yeah, the tournament ended on the 25th. If we kind of jump quickly into the results, for the men, the winner was Sam Tulchard of England. So, recent Commonwealth Games success, and went over there and had a great showing at this event. He defeated Malaysia's Izzat Zulkepli. Sorry if I butchered that name again. It was 12-3, 4-6, and 3-2. So they went to a tiebreaker. So congrats there to Sam. And then Canada's representative was Michael Leong. So Michael had a rough start to the tournament, was 0-3. Pretty tough start out the gates, but then he ended up finishing 6-4 overall. So he only lost one of his last 7 games. So obviously found his weight or everything like that. So played pretty good in the end. If we're going to cover our North American friends, the results they had. So Charlie Herbert, he was there, or Hebert, sorry, and he went 5-5. So he had kind of the opposite of Michael. He had a really good start. Won most of his games right at the very beginning, and then sort of struggled near the back half, but still 5-5 is a pretty good result for him. If we're jumping into the ladies, so gold went to Taylor Bruce from New Zealand. She defeated Carla Krasanik from Australia, 8-6, 10-9. So those two both had very impressive round robins, or yeah, I guess it was a round robin for the women, and then they ended up playing each other in the final there. Had a pretty close game. Bronze went to North America, USA's own Ann Nunez. So Ann had a very impressive showing. She went 8-2 overall. She ended up losing to Taylor Bruce in the semifinal, 9-3, 14-0, 5-0. So again, very impressive to see Ann going over there and realistically coming within a set of playing in the final. So that's really good to see some nice results from North American players.
Yeah, it's always good to see when we go overseas and have some pretty good results. What do you guys think about the Champions of Champions? It's different than the rest of the World Championships. I mean, as far as it goes here in Canada, you got to win to get your way in. What do you guys think about that style of format?
I really like it. I think it's a good event to have where there are restrictions. You have to have won something in your country I don't know the exact wording of it, but it's like, you know, if it's a small country, you have to win something that you represent the country. For Canada, you have to win the singles in order to go. You can't just name somebody. You can't just send anybody that you want, selection, whatever. It's you win your way through to your country. You're the number one singles player in your country, and now you go and you prove whether you can be the number one singles player in the world. So I think that's pretty cool.
It is pretty neat, and like I'm sure we hear it everywhere, but here in Canada, people like to speculate on what if the winning teams got to move on to the World Championships and represent Canada. So here's what we get to see in one of them. So it's interesting. You get to see it be a little bit, just something a little bit different.
Yeah, like it's a nice little, I guess, cherry on top of winning a national championship if you get to go to a world championship as a result. So I know a lot of people who've gone to these in the past, they've significantly enjoyed having this extra part to it where they get to go to wherever it is and then participate in essentially a world championship after the fact. So it's a pretty cool idea. And as you're saying with the speculation there, Luke, like my one Forest team when we got to go to Hong Kong, so same thing. It was kind of a nice little cherry on top to get to go and get that extra experience, but I know it's not always feasible to have those events available or a quality enough event like a champion of champions, which is a quality event. So
Yeah, I'm always a fan of win your way in for certain things. I mean, it just adds a little bit more because like in Lombo, we're not out here trying to win giant prize pools or anything. So when you win and get to move on to a national or to a world championship, it's pretty exciting and just a little bit different.
I don't know, Luke. I like winning my gas money back.
You like winning your gas money back? That's your favorite?
I go travel to a tournament and I win, $100. It costs me $100 in gas probably to go there and back. So it's perfect.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I guess since we were talking about selection and gas money, let's just get the elephant in the room out of here. We have the old man of the podcast. He's finally retired from the sport of bowls. He is no longer the coach of the national team. But I will say thank you for your time on the Canadian national team, Daryl. I think you did a great job. I mean, nobody's going to agree with your selections because, well, they're shit,
they're trash,
obviously.
right? Yeah.
But anyways, no, thank you, Daryl. Congratulations for everything you've accomplished. And yeah,
great job there, Dreamboat Daryl. I can't say enough positive things about all the work you do in the background. I know just sort of us chatting in the background of the podcast here, we hear all about all the extra work you got to do and whatnot. So when it makes a little bit of sense, I know you're under your situation being a recent father like myself, the priorities change and your time commitments change. So it makes sense that you may have to step out for a little bit. But as Luke's calling it a retirement, I'm going to say you're still pretty young for bowling world. You may be able to jump back in there in a couple of years.
I think he's still got 20 years until he hits his prime.
So I'll get up on my soapbox here for myself. It was a great run, 5 years on that program. I got to meet a lot of people, a lot of great people. I got to meet you guys. Luke and I became really good friends because I was a coach at the World Youth Championship, which was awesome.
True.
A lot of people I met through there as well. And while it's not goodbye forever, it's just goodbye for now. Yeah, like Mike said, it's priority shift. Being a new dad is tough. I can tell you I was up pretty late last night with a teething baby. And Tylenol on short supply, so lots of problems happening. So it's really cool, and I want to make sure that everything that I do is as top notch as I can make it, including this podcast. So spending more time doing some of the other stuff will probably help until I can free up more time to maybe dip my toe back into the international scene. But we'll see.
Well, since you're no longer technically affiliated with Bowls Canada, Daryl, do you have any leaks or leads on the future assistant coach of the national team?
I don't. I actually know that they'll be posting. They'll be posting some stuff for some coaches, so regional and kind of fill my spot. That would be there. So. I don't know when that's going to go out specifically, but just keep an eye out onto it. If you want to be part of the national program, if you want to be part of the regional coaching program, get your stuff in, get your resumes together, and there's lots of room for really great bowlers, people that want to take coaching seriously and really help those athletes get forward. So lots of opportunity coming up, and I will still be part of that in a let me say, like, I don't know if it's like a contractor type way where I'm helping different pieces, but I'm not that guy at the top anymore. So exciting ways ahead, but we'll keep you posted as much as possible on what's happening. So thank you guys.
Hey, no, thank you, Daryl. And hey, I just wanted to mention before I move on, guys, because I know I kind of botched the beginning, but Michael didn't do the greatest job either. I just wanted to thank everybody out there for our 2,700 and some odd subscribers that we have. 2,787 subscribers we have on YouTube. But I will say it's like something like 90% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you haven't yet, hit that big giant red button down there. It's free and it helps us out immensely. We appreciate it all.
Yeah, 100%.
And thanks for throwing me under the bus, Luke. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I would expect the same from you, buddy.
So we might as well move on. We do got a few other things. We got, I guess, an interview we should probably start to get into. We got the Junior World Indoor Championships coming up here, starting just over a week from now. So Canada's own Owen Kirby and Amy Spence are taking part in that. I guess Amy, we have an interview coming up here with Amy. It's pre-recorded about a week ago. Daryl and me did that with Amy, and we sat down with her. You'll obviously get to see what we got lined up there. But she's leaving. I think she said today, I think it was today that she was leaving. So we were kind of laughing that we're going to actually have the interview on the day that she was leaving on her trip. But she leaves for Ireland, and then it's in. I think it's in Belfast up in Northern Ireland. They're starting on December the 5th. So good luck to both Owen and Amy there. If you haven't gone to the IIBC website, that's where all the player names and the draw is located. So if you do want to check that out, it's on the IIBC website.
Before we jump into the interview, just one question for you guys. I don't know if you know the answer, but I know somebody in the chat probably does. Is Amy Spence the first bowler from Prince Edward Island to compete in a world championship?
That would probably be a yes. Someone would have to fact check me, but I would venture.
I'm not sure. I was just thinking about it, like that. That's pretty exciting if that's the case, but I'm not 100% certain on that.
Well, we did note that she's like the first Canadian type champion since the 90s. So they're pretty spaced apart, and there's very few that come from PEI. So my speculation would be yes, world.
The last time player won was early 1990s.
I was gonna say, I think the only people that would have won is I think Glenn Singleton won the singles in the 90s, but I don't know if Glenn would have went to a champion of champions if there was a champion of champions way back in the 90s. So.
John actually says there's never been they've never won a Canadian singles in men's or women's, so she will be the first.
Oh, interesting.
Really
That's cool.
All right, get into the interview.
Let's do
me
it.
as well.
All right, we'll see you on the flip side.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Canadian Bowler Show. I'm Mike Patulli, joined by Daryl Fitzgerald. Today we have a special guest with us, Amy Spence from PEI. Welcome to the show, Amy.
Thank you.
Okay, so typically when we interview somebody, we like to give them the floor just to let them introduce themselves and sort of how they relate to bowls. So, Amy, the floor is yours.
I'm Amy. I'm 21, and I'm from PEI. I got into bowls about 10 years ago when my mom decided it'd be a good idea because I was a 5-pin bowler and a curler at the time. And it's a combination of both. She said, let's give it a go. So here we are.
So you are the 2022 Women's Under 25 Canadian Champion, which is an awesome accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Before we get into all the fun bowl stuff about you, I'd like to give our viewers a little information on PEI. So bowls in PEI, what is that like?
It's we just have the one club. It's a tight group of around 50 members. It's consistently the same people that show up every week. You all get to know each other really well. The greens are well maintained, as it's the only one on the island. So
Cool. Yeah, like I once had played at your club out in, well, Sherwood Lawn Bowling Club out in PEI. So for anyone who hasn't been there before, it's Prince Edward Island. So it's a small island on the east coast of Canada. They have the one club, and sort of as you described, it's a small and tight-knit club. They ran the juniors, not to date myself, but 2007, so I'm starting to get old. It's my first one I went to, and I really did have a great time. It's a great place, and I was very impressed the one time I went there. So you sort of did touch on it. Your mom kind of got you into bowls there. So does both your parents bowl? Is that what I understand?
Yep.
So how do you like playing with your parents when you bowl?
I really enjoy it. We have a lot of fun. We actually won the mixed triples league this year.
That's awesome. Outside of bowls, what are your main interests outside of playing lawn bowls?
I do 5-pin bowling. I also did curling as well, but I stopped about a year ago because I've been busy with school. I've been to about 15 5-pin bowling nationals, and I won the 2012 Bantam title, which I was 11, and I won the 2016 junior title when I was 15.
That's very impressive. I know it actually seems to be a common denominator. 5-pin bowling seems to attract or bring in a lot of lawn bowlers. I know if we probably look back over the years, there's a lot of very good 5-pin bowlers who actually get into lawn bowling. I'm not sure what the commonality is between the two, but it seems to be something that sticks and gets people to join the game. So you won the U25s this year. We did touch on that. You've been knocking on the door. The last few nationals have been close or sort of in and around the hunt. What do you think pushed you over the edge to win it all this year?
I was doing a lot more practicing this year. I was really focused. I really wanted to win this nationals, and about 2 weeks before we went away, my grandmother passed away, and that really pushed me to do really good when I went out there. It was like I was doing it for her.
We're really sorry to hear that. That is a sad occurrence in anybody's life. We are really happy that what you wanted to do actually came true, and you won, which is really, really awesome. So you won the under 25 playing one of your close friends, Alexis Gallagher, in the final. Since she's one of your friends, was it hard to play her, or how did that match go?
It wasn't hard. We knew it was going to be a really good game, and we were both going to be happy if either one of us won. So there was no issues at all.
It's always interesting when you play your friends. So it's good that you guys kind of had that understanding that it was going to be a good game and you'd be happy regardless. So
yeah,
at least you have that relationship. Some people don't have that. It would be a little bit uglier potentially.
Yeah.
So winning the U25s, you get to go to Belfast, Ireland for the World Under 25 Championships. Do you have any plans, or I guess what have you been doing to prepare to be going to the U25s?
I have met up with my coach Tammy a couple times in Nova Scotia. We've been doing a lot of drills. I even played a sets game against Jackie Foster. I have one more practice left before we go.
So exactly how excited are you to be going to Ireland to be playing on the indoor?
I can't even explain how excited I am. I never thought I was going to be going to a different country to play a sport. And now that it's happening, it's mind-blowing.
So the tournament's in roughly just over 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks there. So do you have plans to go early to either tour around, or are you going early to practice? What's sort of your itinerary?
My family gets in, we go in, we're leaving on the 27th. So we're there for about 3 or 4 days. We're going to do some tourist stuff in Dublin before we head up to Belfast. And I know we have a couple of practices booked before the allotted time in Belfast on the 2nd or the 3rd, right before we start.
Do you have even training with Tammy Foster-Vino out of Nova Scotia? She's the regional coach for kind of the Atlantic area, and she'll be going over there with you. Do you have any plans with her on what you'll be doing to prepare yourself?
We've been just talking about staying positive, making sure that we're happy with what we're doing. She's teaching me the drills, making sure the practices are on the turf carpet greens, so that I have a general idea of what it's like since I've never played indoor before.
So when you're over there, so you're playing singles, and then you're also playing mixed pairs with the other U25 winner from the men's, Owen Kirby. So have you ever played with Owen before?
I haven't played with him, no. But we've known each other for a long time. I have a general idea of how he plays.
Are you excited to get the opportunity to play with Owen, or are you?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
So incredibly, Mike pulled this at one of our shows when we announced that you had won. The first national champion in lawn bowling since the 1990s from PEI. What type of reaction did you get from your club and community and those that you know around PEI?
I got a lot of support. The club was so beyond happy for me because they haven't had anyone. They don't have very many people that go to nationals at all. So to have someone win was just amazing for them. It really brought a lot of publicity to the club. They did news articles. They featured the lawn bowling club on the news. So we're hoping next year that there's going to be more members interested.
Awesome.
Yeah, like on the live show, I think if I were to toss the year, I think it said it was 1992 or 1993 was the last time that someone had won for PI. So it was quite an accomplishment to see it happen, because just got exactly what you said. There's very few people who travel or play in nationals at this point from PI. So it's good that you did get that exposure and sort of the extra coverage for it once you did come back. So for next year, do you have any plans, like sort of anything you're looking forward to or planning for next year? Or are you entirely focused right now on going to Worlds?
Well, mainly focused on Worlds right now. And I'm trying to just do both the under 25s and the Canadian. I'm going to try. I'm pretty busy with school and everything. But if I have the time, I would love to do both of them.
That's amazing. You talked about there's not a lot of people that go to nationals. I think in my time, and I don't know about you, Mike, as well, I've only met up with one other pair. And I know the common person in that was Paul Young from over there. Is there much talk about nationals, or are you just an anomaly there for being super competitive?
There's talk of it. I know the mixed doubles, mixed pairs, they were talking about sending some teams if it wasn't too far away, because it's pretty expensive to travel from PEI. And I know Paul will do the singles as well. Same situation if he has the time and if the funds are there.
Yeah, no. Commenting on what Daryl was saying there, PEI, I think, sent a team to the Nationals when it was in Nova Scotia the one time I was there, where we actually saw some teams in the pairs and the fours. And since then, I saw Glenn and Charlie, I think one time I played them in the pairs. But then beyond Glenn and Charlie, Paul's both been the only person I've seen from PEI over the last about decade or so. So I guess looking forward in your bowls career, is something putting your name towards the national team, is that something you're going to consider down the line, or?
Yeah, not right away, because I would like to get more experience before I put my name in for the senior squad. I want to have more on my resume, per se.
I mean, 21, 1 and under 25, that's not common. Usually you hear that closer to getting to the age of 25, closer to the years that you're gonna age out. So absolutely incredible. As far as the Atlantic region goes, nationals aside and the stuff that goes around Canada, I wanted to touch a little bit on the Atlantic Bowls Championships because we don't hear a lot about that outside of the East. The West and Ontario, we don't necessarily hear much about the Atlantic Championships. Have you been to it? What is it like? And is that basically the biggest thing in the area for bowls?
Yeah, I've been to a couple of them. We got second, not this past year, but the year before. I was in the triples and we got second place. It's probably the biggest event. It's just, once again, when it's held in Quebec, it's hard to get PEI people to go because it's so expensive to get out of here. But this year is the 50th anniversary of it. It's actually being held in PEI.
Awesome.
So we're looking forward to that.
So when you say it's expensive to get out of PEI, I guess for you guys to fly anywhere, do you have to take a linking flight somewhere and then probably end up wherever it is? Is that kind of the main deterrent, to just the extra flights and then it makes it more expensive?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of flights out of Charlottetown, so you're gonna end up driving to Halifax, which is a 3-hour drive from where I live, anyways.
Right.
And people aren't necessarily wanting to drive 3 hours to catch a flight. They want to be able to fly right out of PEI. And the flights out of PEI are so much more expensive than they are out of Halifax.
Okay.
So
that kind of makes the lines align now that I think of it, because if you have to drive 5 hours to get a much cheaper flight, then that really does deter you from potentially wanting to travel anywhere. It's just like, well, it's too much of a hassle to even kind of figure that out.
So you talked about your training leading up to this event and your training with Tammy now. Just as far as a young person goes in the sport, have you been coached much, and what does coaching do for you as far as accelerating your game and your performance?
I have not been coached that much. In PEI, there's no coach available for me. So whenever I have the chance to work with Tammy, I find it really helps me, my attitude specifically. She does a lot of mental talk, stuff like that. And the drills, we don't do drills in PEI. There's no one to help run drills. The drills are amazing, really help with specific aspects of the game.
If you said you started training more this year and practicing more, it obviously paid off, the different drills or whatever you were working on. When you do put your mind to something and you practice that a little harder and start doing the focused training like drills, definitely works for some people.
Yep.
I think that was all the questions I had lined up. Daryl, did you have anything else you wanted to ask Amy?
No, that's amazing. It's great to get a little taste of what PEI is like, get to meet you and hopefully get you out there, get you some exposure out there so people know who you are and what you're doing.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show, and good luck next month in Ireland.
Thank you.
We're back. Let's go. That was a great interview. That was my first time listening to that one. I really enjoyed that one. I was saying to Mike in a side chat, I think she's got to be the only bowler in Canada or maybe the world who enjoys doing drills.
It was a good comment. I put that out there. I mean, being a coach myself, it's important that I ask, do you like drills? Do you do them? How has it helped? And she gave the answer that I was hoping, which is the drills are awesome and they helped her out a lot. So awesome.
Well,
I really liked the comment. Yeah, we don't do drills in PEI. That was my favorite part of the whole interview.
It's kind of one of those things, though, I guess, where me and you've come up in the worlds where we've done drills or we've had people
Yeah.
making us do drills. If you've never done them or had them done very sparingly, it probably honestly is a welcome intrusion into your life. So if you've never done that 36 bowl test, or you've never done a test pinpointing your drive, whatever it might be, I think it actually probably is a welcome thing. So it's actually nice to hear that from her.
100%.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's pretty exciting. Her and Owen are getting over there starting on December the 5th. Both great bowlers. I've personally been lucky enough to actually compete with both of them. So best of luck to both of those bowlers. I think they both have the opportunity to do great, and hopefully they can put on a show and do well. And good luck. And Canadian Bowlers right here to support you guys the entire way.
All right. So I guess our last bit of information or news we wanted to pass your way was just this week, or looked like even maybe this weekend, the Canadian Short Mat Bowls Association had their championship results. So I don't know if we're calling that a Canadian championship or what it would be, because I guess we don't really have a governing body for short mat. It kind of falls under that Bowls Canada umbrella, I suppose. But regardless, they had a tournament. Looked like it was pretty well attended out there in Ontario. So I'll start with the singles. The winner was Martin Foxhall, as you can see in the middle. Silver was Travis Anderson, and then bronze was David Llewellyn. So congrats to those three. And then what's this? This looks like it's probably the pairs presentations. You can do it, Daryl.
All right, pairs. Gold, we had Martin Foxhall and David Llewellyn. There's going to be a theme to this, by the way. So you'll notice as we go through. So Martin Foxhall and David Llewellyn, gold. Marion Brenton and Penny Henneke were silver. And Patrick Cote and Fred Wallbank were the bronze in the pairs. Moving on to the triples. Gold, Fred Wallbank, Martin Foxhall, and David Llewellyn.
Shout out Bill Arthur. Let's go.
Silver, Travis Anderson, Marion Brenton, and Penny Henneke, I should say, sorry. And bronze, Sheila Rogers, Fred Gundel, and Pat Binney. And then in the fours, we had gold as Steve McCarahan, Fred Wallbank, David Llewellyn, and Martin Foxhall. Silver, Don Rush, Travis Anderson, Marion Brenton, and Penny Henneke. And the bronze went to David Anderson, Ian McPherson, Elaine Houpy, and Laura Seed. It looks like it was a good event. People seem to enjoy it. There was I got most of my information from the Coburg Lawn Bowling Club Facebook site, where they were posting everything, which was awesome. But as I said, there's a theme. So David Llewellyn and Martin Foxhall had a great weekend, I guess, because they won a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Martin got the three-peat, the four-peat, so he cleaned up. Had a good weekend, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was interesting to see the familiar faces there. As we sort of, as you touched on, I think every single event to be Martin, I think, to what, four championships or 4 wins is pretty impressive, regardless of what format or what tournament it is. To win every one of the events is pretty good for Martin there. So nice to see the pictures and everything with it too, because as you're saying, it's not hugely publicized or anything like that. It's Coburg. I think you were saying the Coburg website is where you got your info from. I saw it a little bit on Talking Bowls in Canada. It's just the couple spots you can get the little bit of trickling info is good, because it's nice to see that there is still stuff kind of going on here at this point of the year.
Yeah, I think it's Bill Arthur who runs the Coburg lawn bowling page. I know he posts a lot of things. throughout the year, whether it's their championships or whatever else is going on. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Bill Arthur. He's always pushing things and doing a great job. So thanks, Bill, for that. He says check out a video. I'm not 100% sure where or what the video is. I'm assuming it's on YouTube. Okay.
Video,
If you can get us the YouTube link, Bill, we'd be more than happy to share that for you. That'd be great. Yeah. Do you guys have much short mat out west, Mike?
Yeah, no, we do. That's where I was earlier on when I was saying I think it falls under the Bulls Canada. I don't know if it's its own affiliated body. Bill fact checked me there, said that they're their own thing. In Saskatchewan, we have short mat, and the clubs all pay their association fees and everything to Bulls Saskatchewan and then Bulls Canada. So it's still associated with lawn bowling, and the funding that they get is from Bulls Sask. So that's sort of how our works out here. I think Regina has 2 short mat clubs. Saskatoon has a really big one. And then a couple of our smaller centers across the province, they each have their short mat clubs too. So it's pretty well supported out here, actually.
I can't say enough how important short mat is for us right now. We don't have a lot of indoor clubs. Obviously, PIBC is the mecca of bowls, indoor bowls in Canada. If we're doing an indoor thing, it's always there. Everybody has to travel to BC. So short mat is huge. Support short mat in your local areas. Go and try it out if you haven't. It's unique. It's not what you're used to. There's certain rules and things that happen, and obviously it's a short mat. You think your bowl's going to tip off the side when you're rolling. That was my first experience. I was like, how am I going to keep it on this mat? It's shorter than the carpet at home, but it's awesome. And it's a great way to keep going during the winter. I was really surprised when I saw that the Canadian Championships for this was going on, because it's not even December, and our outdoor season for a lot of places would have ended, September, October. So that's a quick turnaround. But you can see the good players, and I played against them, a few of them at short mat here. The good players rose to the top and took that down. So that's really cool.
Absolutely.
One thing I want to say is I did notice there was a post, and it was kind of at the tail end of everything for this, but apparently they're going to be doing selection for the World Championship. I take it that it's the same kind of thing. It's not a win and you go. It's not the people that won here that go, but they'll be selecting a team. So keep your eye out for that, and we'll keep our eye out for it and announce it when it comes. But that should be interesting too. I wonder. I'm curious as to how they selected as well, and if people will get as angry as they do with me for it. So.
Of course they will.
So you don't know anything about short mats, so you're not applicable, Daryl?
No.
Oh, well, he doesn't know anything
worst.
about lawn bowling either. So, I mean, depending who you ask, right?
Take it till you make it, right? Yeah.
I guess I'll use this as a little segue. Along with Martin, very impressive results from David Llewellyn at this event here. If you haven't checked out our video we posted this week, check your bias. David Llewellyn was one of our big movers in the men's category for Alex's Power 20 of Canada. So if you haven't checked out that video, go to our YouTube channel. That's one of our most recent videos where we're releasing our top 20 power rankings for the country. So spoil it a bit, David is in that list, and he was one of our top movers, and his results there obviously solidified why he made that top 20. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. It's a good video, a bit of dialogue back and forth between Al and myself.
I do just want to throw a slight disclaimer about that video out there. If you don't like the selection that's in the video, that's completely okay. The objective behind the video is to start conversation. And if you don't agree with it, we would love to hear who you think should be on the list. That's kind of the idea of the video. So don't roast Mike and Alex too much. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. Who do you think's in the top 20? I don't know.
It's an awesome video. I think it's a great program that Mike and Al have put together. One of our new features that's going to be rolling on, and you'll see updates to it. And yeah, like Lou said, the whole idea is to start conversation. Like, Do you know the people that are on the top 20? Why are they there? And who's not on that should be there? And how far down the list is Luke Caldwell? Is one of the hotly debated topics here. So
I don't know. I've been in retirement for a few years, so I shouldn't be on any sort of list, I don't think. But
So we might have to throw a couple more decimal points on the 20 to bring Luke in on that one.
well, let's just do another one. We'll do the bottom 20 and we'll see if I make that one. But yeah, like I said, just don't forget it's an opinion, and like I said, we want to hear other people's opinions. That's the point of the video.
100%.
So
we want to hear from you.
what are you thinking, Daryl? What are you thinking?
Well, I do want to say that for the first time ever, we got a bot in our chat. So does that mean we made it finally?
Yeah, girls 18 site. I did block the message. I think I blocked it from everybody, but yeah, it's the first time ever. So
We made it.
whatever. Another viewer in the chat, I suppose. So thank you, girls 18 site. Let's go.
Perfect. I think that's good, gentlemen. What do you guys think? Anything else that you want to promote, plug, talk about?
I don't think so. I just want to say it one more time. If anybody's interested in the merchandise, like I said, Daryl's got the sweater on today. That's down below. I think it's pretty reasonably priced. Don't forget the holiday season's coming up, and who doesn't love the Canadian Bowler podcast? Like I said,
100%.
the best podcast in lawn bowls. So if you like lawn bowls, you need that merch. Put it on. It might even increase your playing, and you might make the top 20. You never know. You never know.
And then we'll do another quick reminder if you are here to hit that
thanks,
like,
Dad.
comment, subscribe button. I didn't say it last time well enough. Apparently, we need to hit the subscribe button. You need to hit the subscribe button. It's the red one down there, according to Luke. So
Big giant red one. It's free to click. You just got to click it.
yeah, please hit those. Any sort of help, any sort of pushing those buttons does help us because it just helps us on YouTube to move videos up and cues, everything like that. So is that all you guys got?
I think so. You want to shut her down, Mike?
Sure. Well, thanks for joining us today. And with that, may all your bowls be touchers.